Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I think I'm going to make this one pretty quick today, starting of course with the coin market cap and looking at the market cap and how we broke $800 billion and how $1 trillion is right around the corner, I think, and something that seemed almost unreachable not that long ago is now doesn't seem like even that big of a deal. It's I can understand that actually happened, that huge milestone of $1 trillion. But yeah, we can see that the last 24 hours, money has been pouring into the space, and um, both in Bitcoin and altcoins. Here's the altcoins. We had a little dip here, but if you look back at the 1 day with Bitcoin dominance, I think we were at a slight decrease possibly, but pretty much holding even. And that is that. Let's go on. Ethereum's having a little problem with increased block size and increased transaction fees. Um, uh, I think I've talked before about Amir Rozak's take on this year. One of his points was that this year is going to be the year of scalability in multiple ways. One where companies are going to have to follow the deadlines they set for themselves on their white paper. Some of those are coming to fruition, and we'll see if they're actually able to do what they say. I expect a lot of them are not, and some coins may tank this year because of that. Similarly, because so many people are in this space that haven't been here, these things are actually being used like they're saying. Um, uh, that's going to pose problems in itself because their ability to work versus work with tons of transactions and on a wide scale, it's a different thing. And just it's just representing um, how Ethereum is having issues right now. I wouldn't necessarily say they're really worth being concerned about, but it is a reality, and it in a certain sense is a good thing. At the same time, it's like it's a bad side effect to a good thing, and the fact that Ethereum is being used right now, and it has a ton of focus and a ton of use cases. It's not quite being able to keep up, but that's because it's being used. Another thing is because of the block sizes being increased for Ethereum, similarly to Bitcoin 2x or B2X, basically not wanting to be integrated because the 2 MB size was arguably going to encourage centralization rather than decentralization because the cost to have internet speed and hardware needed to include the more size and speed needed for that is it's just more of a cost and more of a burden, and arguably it's going to encourage the people that have the upfront money to be able to do it, and the little guys not, and that's it's easier to put the power in the hands of a few. That's just being recognized that Ethereum is having that type of an issue now. I'm not extremely concerned because Ethereum has something in the works called Casper. I've talked about it a little bit before, but basically it's going to move away from proof of work to proof of stake. So that basically means instead of having to use your video card to mine and power essentially being the safety net to fake transactions, it's going to be you're going to stake your own coins, and it's going to be your own money on the line if you don't do things accurately. That's the accountability measure, is staking your own Ethereum. Something I'm very much looking forward to with Ethereum. It isn't quite clear to me when you have a masternode, which is part of what you need to be able to stake your coins, to be able to put your coins aside and have them approve transactions. You have to have what's called a masternode, and it's kind of like a server where you lock down your funds and allow transactions to go in and out and stuff. But oftentimes for masternodes, you have to have a minimum amount of coins to be able to have a masternode. And the cool thing about having a masternode is you get paid just basically minor fees. It's kind of like an interest that comes in for approving transactions. And I'm not, what I'm getting to here is with Ethereum, I'm not 100% sure yet what that Casper masternode amount of Ethereum needed will be. I've heard very wide ranging numbers, and that'll be interesting to see. But that is something that's coming in the works. That's going to be a different way of approving transactions, arguably um, uh, more diversified and more cost effective in many fronts. And from that, arguably going to be encouraging, a more diversified, like I said, platform for Ethereum. So I'm not extremely concerned with this right now. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Here's Ethereum price. It's going up. Sweet. What's going to happen in the immediate future? I'm not 100% sure. Looks to me like it might dip a little bit before it goes higher. That's just my extremely quick take on the Ethereum price. Litecoin. Over 12 billion worth of Litecoin has been sent in the last 24 hours. It's almost 25% of its market cap. That's incredible. See how this stacks up against the other coins. Litecoin is the payments coin. This is sweet because that is how Litecoin wants to be used. It wants to be the quick transaction, inexpensive transaction coin where you would use things like atomic swaps through the Lightning Network to swap quickly between two coins and inexpensively, and then make your payment in whatever payment protocol or coin or whatever the store you're in happens to need, and ideally even exchange moving funds from exchange, you could go move in Litecoin and then transfer back to whatever coin you want, and that would be faster and cheaper. And that's a huge part of what Litecoin is about. To me, this is in itself is just showing that the reality that people are recognizing that use case of Litecoin, just because the value, it's clearly being used a lot, and I think it's only going to be used more so. Back to the scalability topic I was just on, Litecoin is going to be a huge part of the answer, I think, for scalability for cryptos in general, and I think specifically for Bitcoin, where the atomic swaps through the Lightning Network are going to encourage the ability for Bitcoin and Litecoin to be swapped instantly. That transfer and payment method be made with Litecoin. Bitcoin can ideally, theoretically, Bitcoin would be focused on the security, store of value, the diversification of the decentralization rather, and Litecoin can be focused on the other side of the scale, where quick and inexpensive is the strength and value. And I think I'm just seeing those steps fall into place. Hearing that there's rumors that the Lightning Network and atomic swaps will be in place in the next couple of months, which can't come soon enough, but at the same time, it's a lot sooner than many people were expecting, and so that's great. I think as this roughly says here, this is Charlie Lee. It's the same guy that posted this, but it says just hodl. It's got you can see it's got the Litecoin L, except it says buy the dip here, and basically saying that even though Litecoin's at a high price, it's really in a dip right now. It's gonna take back off, and I agree. I think historically, if we go back to the Lightning chart, Litecoin has been it's like a very boring coin, just slightly goes down or slightly goes up over time, and then it just takes off in price. And you've got to hold. It's not Litecoin hasn't been a coin that talks itself up. It's been a coin that works on real problems, just slowly does, actually does what it says it's going to do, and that's built a lot of confidence in me relative to other cryptos. The fact that they're not about saying saying a lot, they actually just do stuff. And you've been rewarded in the past for just holding, taking off. There are times in the past where a price has dropped down for long periods of time. I don't know that it's not going to happen. Just looking at the futures, I see it with Litecoin specifically. There are pretty fundamental things coming into place that should boost the price up a lot. I don't know what a lot is either. This is a subjective word, but it should boost the price up from where it is. I'll just say that. Okay, back to Bitcoin here. This is Tone Vase. He's one of my favorite technical analysis people. I do refer to others. I'm basically presenting him to you guys because I think it's the most accurate and easy for most useful way for me to do this. But he's have some live charts that I've been using, and I'm now referring to these. I'm getting these from his Twitter page. And so you can look these up too and do the same thing, but I'm going to cover these here. It says once above the $17,000, the 4-hour triggers a buy, that the line will be in line with the daily and weekly. So whenever you have multiple time frames giving you the same hint, it's just clearly easy to put a lot of weight on that because every metric is pointing to the same answer. So we've got covered these a little bit before as well, but we've got a bullish pennant here, which is basically kind of looks like a flag. And the way these work is when you exit the flag, the next up is supposed to be roughly the same as the pull for the flag was to come into the flag pattern. So we should be breaking clearly out, and I think we're considered out more or less roughly when we reach the high point of that pennant. So we would really want to have you could potentially buy right at the edge of the triangle there, and the next confirmation would be at the ultimate high of all-time high for the price basically. So that's what we're looking for, at least in this time frame, is I believe right above the 8, and that's about $17,000 Bitcoin. And looking here, looks like we've got some more support that is showing here at $17,000. By the way, this is all Bitfinex, so it is going to be a little bit different dollar value, most likely if you're using a different exchange than this. Coming over here to the day, we've got our triangle that we've been talking about for a while, waiting for it to break up or down. From that, obviously we've broken up. We were then waiting for it to break over this candle wick here on 1, and we obviously did. And then we were waiting for it to break above this 2, and we obviously did. And we had, yeah, so we're in good territory here. If we break, there is some support here around 1700, I believe. I'm guessing he's getting that from, he's getting it I think from a Fibonacci, and also we obviously had some support at that level. So once we get above that, the next support or area of interest would be the all-time highs around just under 20,000. He's got another Fibonacci line up here at around, I'm guessing 29,000, or it's 28,816. But he's also got 68% to around 24,500. He says down here, let me move myself out of the way really quick. He says down here, Bitcoin is to once again become a technical buy for another $1,000 to $2,000 pop, just like the setup at $15,000. A clean break this afternoon over 17,000 kicks off another run to 9 on the 4-hour chart. Daily Bitcoin USD still on target for 24,500 bucks, so that's pretty freaking awesome. And I've kind of talked about what he's talking about, run to a 9. I don't know if I want to talk about that today. I just want to give a basic idea of the price, and hopefully this is helpful to you. Thanks a lot for watching, you guys. If this was helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more like this, and I will talk to you